I'm thrilled to welcome the CEO of Astrum Drive Technologies, Dr. Ivaylo Vasilev. With a remarkable track record of completing over 50 successful projects for Fortune 500 companies, he's a seasoned project manager with over 20 years of experience. His expertise spans multiple fields including engineering, AI, in which he has a PhD, international project management and business administration, earning him prestigious degrees from renowned institutions worldwide. As the CEO of Astrum Drive Technologies, Ivaylo leads groundbreaking research and development in advanced propulsion systems, pioneering the world's first propellantless electrical propulsion which can work in space. Astrum Drive is laying the groundwork for revolutionizing space travel. His company has a clear goal: lead mankind to become a truly spacefaring civilization. He's here to tell us more about AI's application in the development of space technologies.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for staying for this session. My name is Ivaylo Vasilev, and I'm the CEO of Astrum Drive Technologies. In our company, we develop advanced propulsion system, and we think this is very exciting. We think that space is very exciting, and we also believe that it holds the future of the humanity. I think there is no better representation for that than playing this video, so let's watch it together.
Thanks, Q.
So what you just saw is Spaceship. This is the biggest space rocket ever launched in space. And about a month ago, I was on that beach, so I saw how it launched in space. I remember how I was on the rock on the sea, and I was trying to hold my camera to be able to catch the flight, and the whole Earth was vibrating. It was super exciting, and around me there were people joyful, cheering, saying, yes, we made it. So the space is very, very exciting, and this is the reason why we decided to start Astrum Drive Technologies. So here I'm going to skip the details which were already presented. I just want to point out that in Astrum Drive Technology, we have the goal to work with some of the best physicists in the world. And also, it's very important that we publish all of our research in top-tier physics journals, because for us it's very important to get validation, verification from the best physicists in the world. In our company, we have 3 departments, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them. We have theoretical physicists, several of them. We have engineering department, and we have software and AI department. And for us, it's very important to partner with different universities and space institutions in the world. You can see some of them on the right side, but here I'm going to mention just one of them. In the last 2 years, we're partnering very successfully with Technical University of Sofia. And with them, we do some of our prototyping of our electrical propulsion very successfully again. So if you guys want to do simulations, prototyping, highly recommend Technical University of Sofia. So when we talk about the human spaceflight in 2023, I just want to point out what is the problem. Well, the problem is that we burn fuel. Right now, if we want to launch anything in space, about 90% of the mass is fuel, which is very limiting because we have limited range. 90% of the mass may seem like a lot, but it's actually enough for about 5 minutes of spaceflight. Imagine that you have tons of fuel, which is enough just for 5 minutes. This means limited range, limited cargo. It's also very dangerous to operate something which burns chemicals of 1,000 degrees behind the spaceship. So because of that, we can say there is a problem in the human spaceflight right now. And we have a look, if we have a look here, you can see how far did we get. We were launching rockets in space in the last, let's say, 60 years. And how far did we get? To the moon. And we went to the moon 50 years ago, and we're yet not capable to send people there. Maybe in the next 5 years, this is going to be possible. And even Elon Musk, with his spaceship, it is going to require about 10 orbit refuelings to be able to reach Mars. So this is the issue. All of our space technologies right now, they're burning fuel. which is a huge limitation. So what is the solution? We believe that the ultimate solution is propeller space technology, something which works on electricity. So imagine that you have propulsion technology which powers spaceships, rockets, which can travel in space without burning any fuel. This means that we can replace the fuel with useful cargo. So instead of 5% useful cargo, we can have 80% of useful cargo. And also, if we have the right power source, like a nuclear like a nuclear power source, or like a radioactive isotopes, the fuel supply can last for years. Also, we can have unlimited range. We can have propulsion system which can work years and years without stopping. And also, it's going to be safer to operate, no burning chemicals. And maybe you know that one of the biggest contributors of CO2 emissions in the world is the mining industry. It creates about 30% of the emissions of CO2. So if we are able to do asteroid mining, this is going to have a very significant impact on the Earth. And also, very importantly, if we have this type of propulsion system, we can go and visit other worlds on the solar system. Just imagine how great it's going to be if we can go and visit Jupiter or like a Saturn to see the moons, to see the rings. Exciting, right? So how difficult is to do that? So here on Earth, we see electrical propulsion systems all the time, because what we have electrical cars, right? So you put electricity, you have movement, easy enough. But the reason why all of this works on Earth is because of the friction between the tires and the road. This is what puts the car forward. But in space, there is no friction, there is no roads. So how can we build propulsion system which works on electricity and it does work in space? It is very challenging, but we were able to do a significant progress. What we found is that during the phase transition of certain fluids, we can have a thrust which is going in radial direction, so it's possible. For that, we built successful physical demonstrators, so we have a working prototype. And also we did patents in European Union and United States, and for the people which did patents in United States, I hope you can understand how difficult it is and how many proofs you have to give them that the technology works. Also, we, of course, publish in top-tier physics review journals, and right now with the team, we're trying to iterate until we break the barrier of 1 Newton of force. Why 1 Newton of force is so important? So right now, you guys know that around the world, there are plenty of satellites. And all these satellites are having fuel. And because of the limited fuel, they have limited life. If the satellite is out of fuel, it's out of life. Which means that right now, if we're able to replace this propulsion system with electrical propulsion system, the life of the satellite is going to increase from 5 to 10 to 15 years. The fuel is not going to be the bottleneck anymore. So for that, we actually, as I mentioned, we have a large software team, so we use AI pretty much for everything. Fluid simulations, make up digital twins, and also design optimizations. We optimize everything related to our propulsion system. Its pressure, its temperature, the dimensions, the type of fluids. Before we engineer something, we do a lot of simulations. So if you guys feel and think that this is exciting, just wait a little bit for the next slides. Because now we're going to talk about the warp drive research. So about the warp drive, it's a concept which came into life about 30 years ago by a scientist named Alcubierre. So Alcubierre was able to show that traveling faster than light is mathematically possible. So I decided that it's about time to do something about that. So what we did in our company, we gathered some of the best physicists in the world. And when I say some of the best physicists in the world, I'm talking about university-level professors with multiple publications in the field. So we did our best to locate some of the best physicists working on the warp drives. So the warp drive is a concept, I just want to explain it a little bit. So even with the electrical propulsion system, it's going to take 150 years to reach the closest star. So we need something faster to reach the stars, if this is possible. And because of that, Alcubierre theorized that it's possible to make a bubble in space-time, which can travel faster than the light. So what we did is we did several mathematical models, which we called warp drive metrics, which we think is something we can build in the lab. And also another very important thing we were able to do is we resolved the issue with negative energy, because it was widely believed that in order to create a bubble in space-time, you have to have negative energy. We were able to show that it's not necessary. When I say we were able to show, we made like publications in top-tier physics journals, which are peer-reviewed. And also when we publicize, we were trying to publicize in as many journals as possible, because for us it's important to get the feedback as many competent physicists, because we want to make sure that we're laying very strong foundation. So right now we're working on the design of the warp fields. So when I say warp fields, just imagine that this is combination between electromagnetic fields, heat fluxes, lapse function, radiation, and some other quantum fields. So we're doing this design right now, and I was very concerned about how can we test the whole thing, because it requires a lot of energy. So for that, actually, we got lucky because we got contacted by this organization, some of which you may be familiar with. This is the Lawrence Livermore National Lab. This is the biggest research organization in the world, and this is in USA. So they invited us to work together on their warp fusion reactor. And for that, you can see a section of this reactor on the screen. And on the left side, you can see the design and the simulation of the warp bubble. And we use AI extensively for that. So to design these warp bubbles, we have to solve millions of differential equations. So we use AI for all of that. And also, we use AI to predict the behavior of the plasma. So as you guys can see, I hope it's really exciting for you as well. And this was the last slide. I want to thank you for the attention. And we're actively seeking engineers, investors to join our team. So if you feel that what we do is exciting, please get in contact with us. And with that, I want to thank you for your attention and to wish all of you to have a very nice evening. Thank you for coming. Thank you.